It's time for the Warm-Ups Weekly NFL Injury Report with American Orthopedic and Sports Medicine's Dr. Steven Stoller. Visit them online at drstoller.com.
All right, $1:20 on a Thursday, and as we welcome in Dr. Steven Stoller with our weekly NFL injury report from American Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Check them out online, drstoller.com, and of course, book an appointment. As always, you can walk in. They certainly love when you guys call ahead, 201-261-2000. The good doctor, kind enough to join us on a Thursday. How you been, Doc?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. A couple quarterbacks not doing so well. We'll start with Geno Smith, and really, you almost feel bad for the kid, right? He finally gets an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he gets an opportunity to come in, play for a struggling Fitzpatrick, and then he gets hurt against the Ravens. He tears his ACL in his right knee, and I'm just wondering, is this you're pretty close ties up there? What's a timetable for potential return? Is this? Some people have said it might be career threatening, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
No, absolutely not.
Good.
They're all different techniques that some doctors prefer using the patient's tendon from the quadriceps, some from the hamstrings, some like using cadaver grafts, such as myself. And then there are different ways of
we might have
technique where you don't even have to make an incision and do it entirely arthroscopic.
All right, we'll see. You know what? The doc keeps coming in and out. We'll see if we can fix that as we see if we can get a better connection there as we're talking about Geno Smith. And again, towards ACL on his right knee against the Ravens. He was placed on the IR for the New York Jets. I also want to get his thoughts on Ben Roethlisberger because he resumed throwing on Tuesday. And this was 8 days after surgery to repair that left meniscus. So a lot of people think he's going to be able to play after the bye on November 6th. So we'll get into Big Ben in a moment. But go ahead, Doc. Continue what you're saying about Geno.
Oh, anyway,
yes.
There are multiple ways to repair an ACL, and every surgeon has his own preference. And I was mentioning that you could substitute one of your tendons for the repair, or what I like to do is use a cadaver graft because I can always know what size and length that it's going to be. And with new techniques of sterilizing it without irradiation, you can actually put in a thicker graft that's not going to be weakened by radiation. But here's the thing. You need at least 6 months for a blood supply to start entering the tendon. The graft before it becomes incorporated into your body. So no matter how well you fix it and what kind of range of motion and strength you have, you're still susceptible to rupturing it. And the proof of that is years ago, Jerry Rice insisted on returning to play in 3 months, signed a waiver against medical advice, and on his first play, he ruptured his graft and had to have it done over again. So a minimum of 6 months. And now with the ability to do what we do now, it's rare that it's a career-ending injury.
A lot of people were suspecting that Ben Roethlisberger was going to be out for an extended period of time. Now, he resumed throwing on Tuesday, 8 days after surgery to repair his left meniscus. He's hoping to play after the bye week on November 6th, and I'm just wondering, what are the levels of recovery regarding that type of injury? And you mentioned Jerry Rice coming back too quick. Is there a fear that, should Pittsburgh kind of do their due diligence here and maybe not rush Big Ben back?
Yeah, it's not as serious. If he had a meniscectomy and the rest of his knee was clean, meaning that there were no other areas that, obviously he's been hit a lot, that he may have some scar tissue and other things in his knee. But if everything was clean and they just did a meniscectomy, then the stages are that you first want to reduce the inflammation and pain, then the range of motion, then strength, and then function. And the only hazard to bringing it back too quickly would be that, he may inflame the knee. But I think he's probably beyond that point. I don't know what his strength or functional level is, but I think they'll monitor that.
Again, our weekly NFL injury report with Dr. Steven Stoller from the American Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. You can check him out online, drstoller.com. Again, if you guys are around the corner, around the globe, Bergen County, New Jersey, that's the location of Dr. Steven Stoller's office. You can call to schedule an appointment with New Jersey's best sports medicine doctor, state-of-the-art office located in Bergen County. Again, 201-261-2000. All right, let's get to Des Bryant. Huge game Sunday night in the NFC East between the Eagles and the Cowboys. Bryant's been out for a while, says he's ready to go. I hate to borrow the phrase of a pitch count, but again, is this something where with his type of injury, maybe he's limited here? Or is this a situation where, look, he's a well-conditioned athlete, he's a wide receiver, he's going to be able to move around, cut, the explosion might take another week or two, but do you see the Cowboys kind of easing him into, say, like 20 or 25 snaps, or you think just full throttle ahead here?
It depends on how symptomatic he is. I mean, if he's not in pain, he's able to run, and play 4 quarters, then I think they could use him. Again, my issue is, they never got a CT scan, and, I would have treated it differently. But now that it's not, if he's pain-free and he's able to run, the only problem he may have is some long-term, consequences if the CT scan showed something that the MRI didn't.
Okay. All right. So this is more of a, if he feels good to go, then obviously as a doctor, you're comfortable. The Cowboys should be comfortable with having him out there. Here's one in our backyard as we start to wrap it up. Ron Brooks, the Eagles cornerback. Now, this I've never heard of this injury before, and I'm just wondering if this is ruptured quadriceps tendon. He's out for the season. To me, when I hear an injury like that, I would think that there's got to be some, what's the word I'm looking for, like really blunt force trauma with some type of injury like that. But what exactly, how do you rupture your quadriceps tendon?
Well, generally in young patients like this, they obviously have massive quadriceps, and when they rupture it, it doesn't like tear in the middle. It usually pulls off the bone, and usually prior to pulling off the bone, you get what's called a tendinosis. So he probably had some degenerative changes there, from years of lifting and running. I doubt, but occasionally you get a doctor maybe somewhere in his career that may have injected him over a site that he was complaining of pain with cortisone, which will exacerbate that type of injury. The good thing is there's a new technique that you repair the tendon to the bone. But in addition to that, you can put in an internal splint with sutures, which means that you can mobilize him right away instead of keeping him with his legs straight in a cast or a brace, for 6 to 8 weeks before you start moving him. So this way you can move them right away. They have less atrophy, and it usually takes about 6 months to get back. But this should not be a career-ending injury either.
Good. He was certainly an asset with that defense, and by all accounts, a pretty good guy in that locker room. And again, as he joins us every week, Dr. Steven Stoller from the American Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, drstoller.com. They've got great information online. You can call ahead, book an appointment, 201-261-2000. They've got videos, testimonials, patient education, Q&A, links, news, everything you really need to know to get you back out of there, especially for those weekend warriors. Do your Jets get a win over the Browns on Sunday?
I have mixed feelings because I still look at the Jets as a four quarterbacks without a real quarterback. And, would I like to, I'm going to have to root for them, but I wouldn't mind seeing them lose and being able to pick up
a good quarterback
after a real quarterback after all these years. I just don't see the two guys behind Geno, and Fitzpatrick and Geno are not coming back next year, so they're in a real bind. So I hope they do lose.
Listen, I thought it was funny when Bowles said, listen, Fitzpatrick can be ticked off all he wants as long as he doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah, right. And look, he's not the one who didn't sign the contract, and it wasn't like there was any other team looking for him. So he held out for all that money. So he's contributed to his own demise.
Yep.
So I really don't feel sorry for him. And Gino, I'm sorry he had his injury, but he did have his chance and did not really look very good. And I'm hearing terrible things about Hackenberg, about his inaccuracy and footwork. And, I mean, things that, my son played quarterback, and, you learn that in Pee-wees. So if you don't know that in Pee-wees, how are you supposed to teach an NFL pro that?
Yeah.
So
right.
That's real dangerous, and I think they made a mistake with him. And Petty, I just don't know, but I'd like to see him lose to the Browns and maybe get a top 5 pick.
They keep losing. They're going to go that route. So, but hey,
Good.
Another opportunity on Sunday on the Browns, and we will have another opportunity to speak next week with another NFL injury report. Doc, you're the best. Appreciate it.
You too.
You got it, pal.
Enjoy your weekend.
You got it.
Bye.
Enjoy the games as well. So good stuff as always with Dr. Steven Stoller.